What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and welcome back to the newest episode of the Retro Rebuilds, where we take over a team with this very awesome Madden 2002 mod, and we get to play a couple seasons, see what happens as we go through and utilize real-life retro draft classes. Now, in the first episode last week with Houston Texans, we only had 2 draft classes. We had the 03 and 04. Now, right now, this literal second, we have the 05 draft class, so we're going to have 1 extra year to this rebuild. So that is going to be pretty dope. I asked you guys what team you wanted to see in the last video, and the #1 team that I saw pop up was the Indianapolis Colts, and a lot of you guys know my feeling of the Colts, especially when they had Peyton Manning, so I'm a little bit irked, a little bit ticked, but it is what it is. As you can see behind the desk there, we have a young-ish looking, as close to we could make, Tony Dungy. Looking at the roster here, a lot of memorable names. We got Peyton Manning, 95, but this is a 26-year-old Peyton Manning. So as you can see, moves like a goddamn rock in wet sand, but he's one of the best pocket passers ever. It's only a matter of time till he's a 99. We have Edgerrin James here at running back, 24 years old now. Goes down, I probably would like to think, the greatest running back the Colts have had. You know, maybe. I don't know. I'm not super up to date on my Colts sister. Oh, C4 used to know that in 1941, the Baltimore Colts, did you know they played at Baltimore, had this, you know, he's one of the best running backs that there's ever been for the Indianapolis Colts. At wide receiver, we have Marvin Harrison, 30 years old, 98. He's getting towards the end of his career. And we got a young whippersnapper here, 80 star dev Reggie Wayne, just 1 year out of the U. So that's going to be a pretty fun look at building. We have no Dallas Clark. I know he's another one of those guys that is kind of considered a part of the golden era of the Colts. He is actually, I think, in the next upcoming draft. So we will do our best to try to draft him. But right now we have Marcus Pollard. Offensive line, we have Tariq Glenn, who's definitely one of the best offensive linemen during the Peyton Manning era. We have the best offensive lineman during the Peyton Manning era here. And Jeff Saturday, 2787 star dev center. Sooner or later, he will be into the 90s. Adam Meadows isn't bad. We have this guy. We have Raheem Brock. I remember him. I don't really remember this guy, Chad Bratsky. I do remember Raheem Brock, a rookie, 76 overall. I think he has a quick dev as well. So only a matter of time till he establishes himself. We have Dwight Freeney. God, definitely a legend. The spin move legend himself. A rookie, 82 overall. Larry Triplett at D tackle, 2381. I'll take that. Man, this is just a really good team. Definitely not going to be facing the uphill battle that we did last rebuild with the Houston Texans, as they were an expansion team. We have Mike Peterson, 87, Rob Morris, 85. We have Marcus Washington here, Walt Harris, David Macklin, and Joe Jefferson are going to be our corners for now. At free safety, we have Idris Bashir. Again, not super familiar with him. Or Eric Vance at safety, but they both look like placeholders. And here we go at kicker, maybe the most high-level Canadian to ever play in the National Football League, Mike Vanderjagt. So, hey, here we go. 91 overall. He's pretty nice, even though his relationship with Peyton Manning definitely deteriorated there down the stretch in his time with the Colts. But overall, man, this is a very, very good roster, and I'm going to be utterly shocked as what is going to be a 4-year rebuild if we do not win at least 1 Super Bowl. But then again, most Colt fans would have said they would have won a Super Bowl back in 2002, knowing this roster and the fact that it took them, you know, almost 10 years to win that Super Bowl. You never know what's going to happen here in the Super Bowl, but let's get into it. So taking a look here at the 2003 draft class, this was a big draft class for the Colts, and you know, this is one of those unique opportunities where we can kind of change history, but I don't think I really want to change how the 03 draft class went for the Colts, as they had an outstanding draft class. In the first round, they got Dallas Clark, the tight end from Iowa, and hopefully he will be our first-round prospect. They also got, in the 5th round, a man named Robert Mathis from Alabama A&M. Yes, sirree, Bob. And they also were able to add 2 very impactful and influential linebackers. First, they got Cato June, and they also got Gary Brackett here from Rutgers as an undrafted free agent. So those are going to be 4 of our priorities in the draft. How the rest of the draft will go, no one knows. All right, so at the end of year #1, not a great record, but at least we got a ticket to the show, ticket to the lottery, ticket to the playoffs here as we host the 11-5 Jets. We are 9-7, so, you know, for a 89 overall offense, I mean, 82 overall base team is not, you know, ridiculous. That's not always a guarantee to make the playoffs, but you would figure any team with a 99 Peyton Manning, you'd have a pretty good shot. But hey, we'll take 9-7. We'll actually take the AFC South title. Really just garbage AFC South, which it usually is for the most part. Peyton Manning here got 4,300 passing yards, 37 touchdowns to 6 picks, so that's a really good season for him. We got 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns for Edgerrin James. We got 93 catches, 1,200 yards, 14 touchdowns from Marvin Harrison. So whatever it is here in the 2002 mod, at least your wide receiver 1 may often play like a wide receiver 1. Reggie Wayne, a little bit of a disappointing season, but it is what it is. And this guy, obviously the slot wide receiver, had a pretty big year. Defensively, Rod Morris led the team with 108 tackles, 3 sacks, 2 picks. 10.5 sacks here from Mike Peterson, 8 sacks from Dwight Freeney. We got 4 picks from Eric Vance. Okay, it's not bad. I'll take all that. Yearly awards, MVP went to Amon Green. Okay, so he pretty much won the MVP every year in the first retro rebuild with the Houston Texans. Looks like he's going to win it every year. Peyton Manning coming in at number 7. Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC, Brian Greasy. Got it. Peyton Manning at 3. Edgerrin James at 9. Defensive Player of the Year went to Ian Gold. We had nobody, unfortunately. Offensive Rookie of the Year. Anyone? Some of these rookies, do you remember any of these guys? Jabbar Gaffney. Oh, Quadri Ismail. Okay, cool. Jamal Lewis, running back for the Ravens. I remember him. Defensive Rookie, they went to Radnell Godfrey. London Fletcher at 2. Hey, Bashir, nice. We'll take it. We will take it. Oh, yeah, shout out to big old Al Hainsworth down there. But anyways, here we go. So, yeah, in the beginning in the year, we thought we would make the playoffs for sure. Maybe not so bad as 9-7, but we're here. Now let's hop into this game here against the 11-5 Jets and see what and if this is the beginning of the run.
Hey, we're getting into trouble? Yeah, it's fun getting into trouble. It's fun getting into trouble. Trouble.
Alrighty, no idea who the Jets have that got them to that 11-5 record, but what I do know is we have Peyton Manning, so we should be winning this game. They have Curtis Martin at running back. He was pretty good, but and Chad. Okay, we're not going to lose to a team that has Chad Pennington as their starting quarterback. Okay, I don't think Peyton Manning even if this word somehow, some way got back to Peyton Manning that even in a Madden world he lost to Chad Pennington, heads are going to roll at EA. So. Let's smarten it up here. Let's get the touchdown. Let's get that 1-point lead. We go for it on 4th down. We get nothing. We get another opportunity in the red zone, and we get the touchdown. There we go. Ball in Peyton Manning's hands to close the game out. Can he orchestrate a drive? And he does what Peyton Manning does best, and that is chew the clock and just make you unbelievably frustrated. With a 1-point victory, the Colts move on to the AFC Divisional Round, 17-16 over the Jets. Almost 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns from Peyton Manning. As all right, let's go. We might. I'm smelling a run. And in the AFC Divisional Round, we're going to be taking on the Denver Broncos. Again, no idea who they have on their team, but the team that Peyton Manning would go on to win a Super Bowl. Looking back in hindsight, there's some storylines here. Let's see if the Sheriff can orchestrate a drive. And really, I think 17. Oh, 13 gives him a chance. I thought 17 would have probably put this game to bed, but we are on the road at Mile High, and as you can see, we just choked away that 13-0 lead very quickly, as our offense has done absolutely nothing for every quarter not in the first. But we're able to tie it up. Peyton Manning is going to play clutch down the stretch. 2 minutes left. We need a touchdown out of Peyton Manning. Can he orchestrate this drive to get a touchdown? 4th down, and it's short. And just like that, the narrative that Peyton Manning is only a regular season quarterback, which roughly about this time, maybe next year, starts to creep in amongst most football fans that Peyton Manning just pads the stats in the regular season, and when the postseason comes, it all goes to shit. And losing to Brian Greasy and the Denver Broncos, that is an ugly way to crash out of the playoffs. So here's hoping we get that Dallas Clark. Here's hoping we can somehow replicate that 03 draft and help the Colts out next season in year 2 of our 4-year rebuild. All right, before we get to the draft and free agency, we're looking at bringing in 2 players. First up, we have Marvell Smith, 85 overall, 25-year-old right tackle, as our old starting right tackle. Meadows did not want our contract. We actually got that out, like to play for a new team next year during contract negotiations. And then at strong safety, we have Donovan Darius, big time, 6'1", 225, old school. That is an 02 strong safety build, 28-86 scheme fit. In a bidding war right now with the Jags and Cowboys, but hopefully we can get that upgrade, as that's a plus 13 over our current starter. All right, so in the first round, Dallas Clark was drafted, which is annoying because I really want Dallas Clark. So I really have my draft down to 2 players. Either we go at wide receiver, we get Anquan Bolden here, who looks really, really good, Or, even though I'm an Eagle fan, it kind of go against everything I want. We do need a cornerback, and Nnamdi Asomugha here in the first round from Cal is still available. Thinking with my head, I feel like, because we have Peyton Manning, he's going to make bad wide receivers look good anyways, and we already have 2 really good ones. So with the first round pick, 25, we're going to select Nnamdi Asomugha, corner from Cal, 76 star. Love it. You love it. So getting a look at our draft recap, we got Nnamdi Asomugha here in the first round, as you saw. In the second round, we got Corey Redding, who I feel like actually did spend some time with the Colts. 77 quick out of Texas. He will be moved in to actually the D tackle spot. I don't know if we're going to get a boost on his rating or not. Just from a 77, he stays at a 77. That's fair. We got Robert Massis in the third round, who's definitely, along with Dwight Freeney, one of the best edge rushers. We've got that star dev, so he's going to grow very, very quickly in the history of the Colts. I wonder who's better. I wonder who Colts fans think are better. Robert Mathis, who is more of like a fumble guy, versus Dwight Freeney, who was more of a sack guy. I don't know, but they both are really, really good. We got Colin Branch, not really familiar with him, in the fourth round of strong safety. We got Cato June, who's one of the better linebackers in the history of the Colts. He's a 73 quick dev, so he should also develop pretty nice. Then we got Gary Brackett here in the 7th round. So it kind of sucks that we didn't get Dallas Clark. I wonder who drafted him. I wonder who got, let's just see this real quick. Who got Dallas Clark? I mean, we can always go through and look at this and see, like, oh, what legends went where? That's kind of wacky. There we go. Let's just, he was a first-round tight end. Dallas Clark is a member of the Titans, and he's a 79 overall, so we could kind of pay attention to that, as he was the big player we would like to draft. But, you know, we got to move on. You just got to move on. Let's get into year 2. So as we get ready for year number 2, here is how our team has shaped up. We actually made a trade where we traded Patterson, one of our outside linebackers here, or Washington, sorry. Washington, our right outside linebacker, to the Falcons for Claridge. 76-25 guard, as it was a 4-point upgraded guard, and we wanted to find a way to get Cato June involved in playing on the defense as soon as possible. That's really it, though. From the offensive side, no changes. From the defensive side, we've obviously brought in Robert Mathis. We got Cato June. We are going to work in with Nnamdi Asomugha, a first-round draft pick. So hopefully this defense, that's a 79 overall, can develop throughout this year and get much closer to our defense so we can become a complete team. Year 2, though, still want to, defend our AFC South Championship, and I think we have the squad to do it. So we are now into year 2, which means we have the 04 draft, and looking back at the 04 draft, there's 2 kind of notable players for me that were drafted. Obviously, Bob Sanders was their highest pick that they were able to select, and he was, obviously, Defensive Player of the Year, struggled with injuries, and they also got the legendary Jim Sorgi at the tail end of the draft. I think they got him in the 6th round. So we'll be trying our best to land these 2 players, but how the rest of the draft plays out, who knows? But we'll probably have to invest a first-round pick in Bob Sanders to make sure that we get him. At the end of year number 2, did not make the playoffs. 2nd in the AFC South with a 6-9-1 record. Just was a real ugly season, to be completely honest with you. The only thing good was that our young players did develop. 3,900 yards, 33 touchdowns, 10 picks for Peyton Manning on the season. 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns from Edgerrin James. So we've had a pretty balanced attack between Peyton Manning throwing it and Edgerrin James pounding it. No 1,000-yard receivers, but both Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison having more respectable numbers as a unit. Defensively, Rob Morris on the team with 139 tackles, 10 TFLs, 6 sacks. 12 sacks, Mike Peterson, 6... Oh, come on. That is not good. That is not acceptable. We need more pressure from our defensive ends. 4.5 and 3. 3 picks, from David Macklin. But, I gotta expect better from that. MVP went to Brett Favre, so I guess the Packers are pretty much playing in God mode. Offensive player of the AFC went to Priest Holmes. We didn't even show up there anywhere. Defensive player of the year went to Ludden Fletcher. Rob Morris coming in at 6. Offensive rookie of the year went to White Lightning, Kevin Curtis. And Dallas Clark, who we didn't get, who went to the Tennessee Titans, coming in at number 10. Defensive rookie of the year went to Peanut Tillman. Cato June coming in at number 2, Nnamdi Asomugha at 7. So somewhat of a respectable year for our young guys, but definitely disappointed with the production from Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney. And we're going to need them to play a lot better if we have any chance of making the playoffs in year number 3. All right, I'm going to bring you here live for the draft because we're going to do something a little bit different here. So we are here in the 7th round of pick 8, and every now and again, we're going to let ourselves have a little fun. And here in the 7th round, we desperately need another wide receiver to pair with Marvin Harrison and Reggie Wayne. So we're taking a look here at the undrafted free agents. And there's a man named Wes Welker from Texas Tech, who I think would be perfect, as we are currently looking for a slot wide receiver. And let's see what Wes Welker can do. So here's a look at our full recap of the draft. In the 1st round, we got Bob Sanders at free safety, 79 with a star dev. Obviously one of the greatest defenders that the Colts have ever had. In the 2nd round, we got Ben Watson. Just still was playing. I think he just retired last year. But at tight end here, he's a 77 quick dev out of Georgia because he missed out on Dallas Clark last year. We still have that kind of vacancy at the tight end spot, so maybe he can emerge as that guy. We have Stacey Andrews here at right tackle. I know he spent some time with the Eagles. He's brother of Sean Andrews, who was much better, but then he went insane, and the rest is history. We got Greg Jones, the fullback, out of Florida State, 79 overall with a quick dev at fullback. Sure. I think he actually got drafted by the Jags or something like that. We just got a random center. We got the hefty lefty as our backup quarterback. I don't know why it says not available because he went to Ole Miss, but we'll take it. I think he went to Ole Miss. Either way, we got the hefty lefty. And then, of course, we got Wes Welker here in the 7th round. One of the greatest slot wide receivers of a generation. Maybe one of the greatest slot wide receivers of all time with a very modest 73 quick. But I assume he's going to get force-fed targets here in this offense. And just imagine that. Wes Welker, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. Good night.
Suspense. R.L. Stein brings your favorite books to life in a thrilling Fox Kids television series. Things are not always what they appear to be. Goosebumps on Fox Kids Fridays.
Year number 3 of the rebuild as we look to bounce back from a year that we did not even qualify for the playoffs. Not a bad team. 83 overall, 91 offense, 79 defense. We got Marvin Harrison is starting to regress here a little bit. So that's why we're going to need a hope to God our boy Wes Welker takes off like a lightning bolt and develops very, very nice. We're actually going to make Ben Watson our starting tight end. Offensive line is very good. Defensively, still a 79 overall, still a work in progress, but you know it's only going to be a matter of time until Mathis goes off, Namdi Asmal catches on. Now we bring in Bob Sanders. Cato June has grown leaps and bounds as a rookie. I have no worries whatsoever that our defense is going to pick it up and start to develop. I wouldn't be surprised if they're like 83, 84 come season's end. But definitely big time priority is once again becoming the top dog in the AFC South and making the playoffs. So here is the brand new 2005 draft, and looking back at the draft for the Colts, wasn't their best draft. They got 2 corners that were not terrible. They had Marlon Jackson here out of Michigan. They also had Kelvin Hayden out of Illinois. Those are their top 2 picks. I don't necessarily know if we're gonna go down that avenue, but we're still gonna try our best to have a good draft. Because in the last rebuild for the Texans, we kind of did preview both draft classes, and this is our first time in the 05. Let's just take a trip down memory lane. Alex Smith, Ronnie Brown, we got Braylon Edwards, Cedric Benson, Cadillac Williams, DeMarcus Ware, Sean Merriman. Lights out! Lights out. You got Derek Johnson, Dave Pollock, who could have had a terrific career if he didn't have an injury. Mr. Aaron Rodgers, who drastically slipped. I don't know how that's going to happen, but this is obviously going to be a really fun starting point if we ever do a team that needs a quarterback, and we might be able to get Mr. Rodgers. Roddy Wright was here. I wonder who's like a steal in this year's draft class. I don't know necessarily. Maybe we'll just wait. Maybe we'll just wait and find the steals out on ourselves when it comes to the draft. But those are the premier players in the 05 draft. And with already to a 2-0 start, I'm not going to have a very high pick. Maybe get that first round bye going up against the 9-6-1 Patriots. That's that big time rivalry. 2 big players to talk about. First up, Bob Sanders from the season that was. Got himself our first overall pick, a Pro Bowl. Got that superstar dev trade increase. And then we also have Ben Watson, our 2nd round pick at tight end. Made himself the Pro Bowl. Got that star dev increase. As, yeah, we rolled through to another AFC South title. 2 in 3 years. Look at the stats here. Peyton Manning, 4,400 passing yards, 34 touchdowns, 12 picks. That is acceptable, I think, for Peyton Manning. Maybe that's, wouldn't want to go much lower than that. 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns from Edgerrin James. He's a monster. On the receiving front, we get 86 catches, 1,000 yards from Marvin Harrison, almost 870 and 7 from Ben Watson, 705 from Reggie Wayne, 840 and 9 from 7th round pick Wes Welker. Edgerrin James also chucked in 600 receiving yards and 8 receiving touchdowns. So, God, almost 20 and 20. He almost put up 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns, so godlike. Robert Morris on the team with 109 tackles. We got 10 sacks from Dwight Freeney, 3 picks from David Macklin, 2 picks from Sanders and Nnamdi Asamoah. Yearly Awards MVP went to Amon Green and Brett Favre runner-up. The Packers are unstoppable. Peyton Manning at 5, Edgerrin James at 6. In the AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Priest Holmes, with Edgerrin James coming at number 2, Peyton Manning at number 7. Defensive Player of the Year went to Zach Thomas. We had Cato June at 5 and Rob Morris at 6. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Steven Jackson of the Patriots, who we will be playing. Phil Rivers, ooh, look at that, a member of the Texans, okay. Wes Welker coming in at number 6 there, not bad for a 7th-round pick. Ben Watson at 9, and Defensive Rookie of the Year, Bob Sanders, coming in at number 4. So that is a whole lot of production here as we get ready to, maybe this is the beginning of that famed Colt and Patriot rivalry, and hopefully we, as a 13-3 team, can come out the other side headed towards the AFC Conference Championship. Alrighty, let's go, Peyton. Let's go, Peyton. Hit Wes Welker with them darts, and let's get out of here with a victory. Did Wes Welker, where did he start? Wes Welker played with the Dolphins, and he went to the Patriots, and then he went to the Broncos. So he did play with Peyton Manning. He did play with Tom Brady. So there's some storyline going on here, but we're up to a 21-10 lead here in the first half. 28-17 first half. So it's back and forth. I feel like we have been the better team, but the Patriots are not going away, as we were just both not showcasing great defense. But with that 40 bomb, I think that should be good enough for us to squeak away here with a victory. With the Patriots still showing a little bit of a pulse, but 45-32. The Colts move on to the AFC Championship game in what is just the beginning of this famed rivalry between Manning and Brady. Peyton Manning, 330 passing yards on the day, 4 touchdowns. Marvin Harrison only had 1 catch. Okay. How Bill Belichick, you know, just to take away your best offensive weapon, which he does almost every time. But hey, it's still good enough for us to move on to the AFC Conference Championship. In the AFC Conference Championship game against the Buffalo Bills, who oddly enough were the team I was debating doing for the second episode of the Retro Rebuild. So hey, there we go. Might as well see who the better of the... What choice was the better for this episode, as it's just a disgusting first half, an 8-7 score. Ugly. Okay. I'm going to trust Peyton Manning. We'll turn this around in the second half and show that, you know, hey, Peyton Manning might be just a little bit better than Drew Bledsoe. 10-point lead here in the fourth quarter. They're able to get a touchdown. But we're playing pretty well here, though. Up 3. Okay, there we go. Again, Peyton Manning just doing the ugly work, getting us out here with a 25-22. Just a weird game all around. But 250 yards, 3 touchdowns from Peyton Manning has us go to the Super Bowl. Let's be honest, probably going to play the unstoppable Green Bay Packers, who've just been the best team so far through 2 episodes of the Retro Rebuilds. But hey, it'd be nice if we take on the Saints and actually have a chance. All right, here we go. We actually are taking on the Saints, who got the massive upset in the NFC Championship game. We're going to Papa Bear this, which means if it ever starts to get a little bit funky, we will step in and try to beat Peyton Manning and help them win a Super Bowl. But if not, if it's a fair sim, we'll just say the better team wins at the end of the day. So we're down 7 here in the first half. Peyton Manning has done nothing but get a late touchdown in the first half to tie it up at 10 apiece. Both defenses are playing well. Colts get the go-ahead touchdown in the third quarter. Let's see if we can defend this lead in the fourth. Third down alert on the 50. We're going to come in. Just because we failed in the first rebuild to win anything with the Houston Texans, it'd be nice to get a successful. Now, I'm not really keeping score like we do with the realistic rebuilds in Madden 19, but it would be nice to just know for a fact that we were able to get at least 1 Super Bowl. So we go short to Ben Watson, and that should be first down. Oh, because that stupid tackle animation, we didn't get it. Oh, my God, man. I hate this game so much. And look, and then they get the touchdown at the end. 4th down. Oh, my God, we might actually... Oh! Let's go! Let's go! I was getting ready just to crap all over the simulation, and just like that, in year 3 of our 4-year rebuild, the 2004 season, the Colts knock off the Saints 27-24 to win Peyton Manning's first Super Bowl. Let's see if we could just guess who got the MVP here. Peyton Manning, 250, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Edgerrin James had 100 yards and a touchdown. What do we got? 13 tackles from Cato June and an interception. 2.5 sacks, Mike Peterson. I think we're probably going to have to go ahead and give Cato June himself the, I think 13 tackles and a pick would get you the MVP in a game like this. But and hey, we drafted him. So there's our Super Bowl. So we're kind of playing with house money. And we got one more year to go. See if we can kind of maybe start a dynasty here with the Indianapolis Colts. So we didn't spend any money in free agency, and I thought because we literally have no holes on the team, we might as well stay true and go with what they drafted high. That was Marlon Jackson, the corner out of Michigan. That's not that bad either. He's a 75, normal dev. We needed a third corner. That's pretty much it. For we got Trent Cole from Cincinnati, former Philadelphia Eagle. Beast for my Eagles. But other than that, just a solid draft class as we look to rebuild this dynasty for the Indianapolis Colts and win another Super Bowl back to back. So as we begin the beginning of our final year of the rebuild, we are a very good team, especially on the offensive side. We added Ruben Brown in free agency, I think from the Buffalo Bills. 94 overall guard, A+ plug and play there to give our offense a 99 overall. We're a base 92, which is really, really good anyways. We had to franchise tag Marvin Harrison because he did not want to accept our contract, but there's no way we're going to let him hit free agency. Wes Welker's up to an 80 overall. And yeah, really good offensive line. Defensively, 89. We have Dwight Freeney's a 96. Robert Mathis is an 87. Namdi Aswan, now our highest rated corner, as an 88 overall. Bob Sanders is a 91. Cato June, 84. You got Peterson here. It's just a really good team. And I don't doubt for 1 second, at minimum, we can win the AFC South and at least make another playoff run to try and win our second Super Bowl. And at the end of year number 4, the final year, we went with a 12-4 record, so our third AFC South title in 4 seasons. Take a look at the stats here: 4,300 yards, 43 touchdowns, 8 picks for Peyton Manning, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns for Edgerrin James. Nice year from Ben Watson, Marvin Harrison, almost 1,100 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns. Reggie Wayne and Wes Welker also did a all-right job. Cato June led the team with 113 tackles. We had 9.5 sacks from Mike Peterson, 8 from Robert Mathis, 7 from Dwight Freeney. Again, it's probably been the only disappointment from this rebuild is that neither one of these guys really caught on like they did in real life. Bashir led the team with 3 interceptions. A quick look at the yearly awards. MVP went to Aaron Rodgers, a member of the Baltimore Ravens, beating out Peyton Manning. Frustrating. A little bit frustrating, just a little bit. AFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Aaron Rodgers, with Peyton Manning coming in at number 3. Edgerrin James at 10. Defensive Player of the Year, we had Cato June coming in at number 8. So, you know, individual awards, a little bit disappointing, but at least we made the playoffs. And because we already won the Super Bowl, I do want to, you know, more so sim it out and see what they could do. But I definitely want to get gameplay, so we are going to hop in and actually play the divisional round game against the 10-6 Denver Broncos and avenge our playoff loss from a couple years ago.
Feeling flat? Add some pop with new Soda Delicious, the Soda Pop fruit snacks with the cool Soda Pop sensation.
So delicious.
And here we go, moving the ball downfield with ease. 1st and 10 on the 13-yard line. We're actually going to try and connect with Ben Watson, who's just been dominating on this drive. And there we go, gets wide open, gets great coverage on the linebacker, and an opening drive touchdown for the Indianapolis Colts. Oh, wide open. Too easy. Just too. You can't give Peyton Manning that. Come on. 2nd touchdown, Ben Watson. Oh, Reggie Wayne with the one-handed catch across the middle. That gets Peyton Manning going in the morning. You know? Can we get a replay of that? That was beautiful. Let him. A little bit of mobility there. And then, oof. One-handed snag. What a play. Oh, here we go. Wes Welker. Thing of beauty. You just can't cover them all. You can't cover them all. Oh, there we go. That does it. What a catch, Marvin Harrison. Game over. And as the clock strikes 0, a 2-point victory for the Colts. 24-22 over the Denver Broncos. Huge game from Peyton Manning. We saw ridiculous catches from Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, Ben Watson, Wes Welker. As the Colts are moving on to the AFC Championship game. Here we go in the championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals. Are we really worried? Probably not, as the Colts get a 7-0 lead. If the sim is anything what we've seen before, the Bengals never do anything in the playoffs like they do in real life. That's not a shot at Bengal fans. It's just sad reality if you are a Bengal fan. But it's a competitive game here, 7-7 in the first half. Second half here, whatever defense can play the best or whatever offense can emerge will win. And we're 10-10 in the fourth. We get the ball here in Peyton Manning's hands, and he does get much going. Down 3 with 1:19 to go. Can Peyton Manning engineer a touchdown drive, which he does. Very, very elite play there from Peyton Manning to outduel John Kitna and his Cincinnati Bengals 17-13 to go and take on literally a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, the Saints and the Packers. Okay. Oh, all right. Cool. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, a exact rematch from last year's Super Bowl, the Colts and the Saints. But the Saints actually jumping out to a quick 7-0 lead, but we're able to equalize, tie it up at 7 apiece. Some teams fighting to get the halftime lead, and it looks like it will very well be the Saints here. 21-7. Oof, that is a hole that we're going to have to fight our way out of, but if anyone can do it, it will be Peyton Manning. Cuts their lead down to 7 in the fourth quarter. Make them go for a field goal. We convert on a 4th and whatever to make it a 7-point game. We get the ball with 3 minutes to go, down 7. Peyton Manning takes it in and equalizes the game at 24. They get the instant touchdown because the Sim's a motherfucker. And here we go with 1:26 to go in the fourth quarter. Can Peyton Manning tie it? Let's come back in. 4th and whatever. 4th and 10. We're going to come in with the sheriff. We're going to go dagger. Very overpowered play. We have 3 turnovers on the game to the Saints 0. We definitely did not have that a year ago when we were able to win the Super Bowl. Let's go. Let's scramble. Oh my God, he's so slow, but he throws it across the middle. Big time reception there for Reggie Wayne. And look, the team's just moving it down and they equalize. And then are you kidding me? And then they get 2 back-to-back instant touchdowns. Oh, that's frustrating. That is absolute dog shit. That is dog shit. We lost to Jeff Garcia. I love Jeff Garcia, one of my favorite quarterbacks, favorite obscure quarterbacks of all time, but that was dog shit. Giving them 2 instant sim cheese garbage touchdowns as we fail to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Well, there you go, guys. That was another episode of the Retro Rebuilds here on the channel. As always, if you want to do this yourself, you have to be on PC, but check out in the description below. It's a link to the Discord that has all the information to get you guys set up with this style of rebuild and all the content that you saw here today. If you did enjoy this rebuild and it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button, smash the like button if you enjoyed. Make sure you leave a comment in the comment section below about what team you want to see me retro rebuild next week. And until next time, guys, it's C4 saying peace out.